Hey Virgos, welcome and welcome back to the Honey Sea Star Tarot, and welcome to Pluto now moving direct. So as of October 13th, Pluto started moving out of retrograde and he is now at 0 degrees of new beginnings. And let me tell you, this is such a beautiful time to be alive. This is like the people's planet is being given back to them. This is also too the rebellion with a cause. This is reclaiming your personal power, and it's a new consciousness that is unfolding. So we'll get into it here, not only about how it'll impact Virgos, but because Pluto is such a long-moving planet, it's such a slow-moving planet, we'll also talk about how each generation will be impacted with Pluto and Aquarius, and also to their role that they'll be playing, because this is something that affects us. It affects each generation. It affects us generationally, and it affects us collectively. Before we get started though, I just also want to say thank you guys to each and every one of you for all the ways that you support this channel, lift this channel up, lift these messages out to the ears that need to hear them. Likes, subscribes, shares, comments, the store purchases, oh my goodness. The donations, seriously, you guys make me melt. You give me goosebumps. I'm so glad each and every one of you are here, and I truly love each and every one of you back. So it's official. We are now in Pluto in Aquarius, moving direct. You've probably already been feeling this energy, let me tell you. I know I have. But this is where his direct motion, that energy is now stationed at 0 degrees. There's a new consciousness unfolding, and it's helping each and every one of us reclaim our personal power and transmute our spiritual inner warrior that we've been channeling while he's been in retrograde into action. And it's beautiful energy. So Pluto in Aquarius will be gracing us with his rebel with a cause. He is this guy that is standing up for all these social injustices, and we'll get into it at a micro level. I should also say that too. Because he's such a slow-moving planet, we're going to look at this at a micro level, a macro level, a generational level, and then also at a Virgo level. So we'll cover it all. Get comfy, make some room here as well, because Pluto is revolutionary, and he is a rebel with the cause, the energy flow, and kind of forward movement that absolutely changes things at such a beautiful way and in such a prolific way. So he will be direct from October 13th all the way to May 9th of 2026. That's when he'll go retrograde again for a reflection period. And then he'll really charge forward again. And he'll continue this pattern all the way through 2043 through 2044 when he moves into Pisces, into our 7th house of partnerships. So I hope you're seeing and connecting the dots already about how all these retrogrades this summer, all of the transformation that we've been going through, especially with Pluto's retrograde, channeling that inner spirit warrior, our spirituality and tying it to our work, our lifestyle, our health, our daily routines, our career, our soul's path, and how the North Node, how Saturn, how Pisces, know what I meant, how Neptune, both Saturn and I almost did it again, Neptune and Saturn being in Pisces along with our North Node have all tied into this moment. And like I say, it's long lasting. This is going to be an incredible next 19 years. And let me tell you, for each and every one of us, this is like the time where it is such a beautiful time to be alive. This is the time too where at a generational level, at a soul level, each and every one of us reincarnated in the here and now to experience this. And if you've got goosebumps, just wait, it gets better. So I'm so excited to do this reading because with Pluto being such a long transit and slow moving process, he'll affect us generally. I can't talk. Excuse me, guys. He'll affect us generationally and also truly shape each generation differently. So we'll talk about how he'll affect each one of us, all 5 generations, the one to come in during this time in Aquarius, all the way through the baby boomers. So stay tuned because each of us plays a very vital and integral role in lifting that collective consciousness into a new power, into the people's power, and reshaping this planet into the people's planet. And I will say too, side plug, I just designed the new design that I put out with our new logo as well, was inspired by Pluto moving direct. It's truly the power is us in the age of Aquarius, in the dawn of Aquarius. People have written songs about this since the 70s, right? This is something that we've been waiting for. Souls have been waiting to come in for this moment, for this transit. So it's going to affect each and every one of us differently, but also at a collective level. We're going to also talk about how it's going to change and affect each one of us and our futures. So our ruler of the underworld, our planet of power, Pluto, death and rebirth, the ruler of Scorpio, is here in Aquarius to influence us. So deep in some very deep-seated issues, generational traits. He's here to bring some major change and also bring some hidden truths to the surface when it comes to power, control, manipulation, the taboo, our collective subconscious, and realizing how much power we hold in our subconscious together and individually. While he was in Capricorn from 2008 to 2024, and think back to 2008, what happened, right? He's the guy that kind of tears down situations, institutions where there's been abuse of power, corruption, manipulation, anything that basically was built on sand. He is here to reveal the dark underbelly and the shadow side. And he's been doing his work while he was in Capricorn from 2008 all the way to 2024 with revealing those dark underbellies, those shadow sides of institutional power. And now that he's in Aquarius and he's moving direct now, he'll be challenging traditional top-down hierarchies, decentralizing power structures by shifting power towards we, the people. And I will say, what's beautiful about this is there's a lot of it. When Pluto's energy comes in like this, it can feel overwhelming. But the beautiful thing is not only is he long-lasting, we get the gift of a retrograde each and every year. So we get the gift of a time of reflection. So through all these changes, we get these points to come back and basically recenter and say, okay, how's it working for us? What further refinements do we need to make? What things do we need to encounter? What did it encounter that we now need to address, to rebuild, to restructure, to shift the power, and go for a course correction again? So we get all of these wonderful times each and every year between now and 2044 to refine along the way and to make sure, more importantly, that no one gets left behind. And if that resonates, put a heart in the comments below, because right away, like I say, we'll be seeing as power shifts more back towards we the people, the power is us, remember that. In more and more ways, we'll be seeing and experiencing grassroots movements and collective actions that gain more momentum, where power and our planet, the people's planet, becomes ours rather than for the few elite. This is where the few elite are looking at things, and I'm sure you've felt it in a lot of different ways, but especially if you watch tarot, we know that right now we're entering this point where it's one world order or new earth, right? This is where there's a lot of corruptions that basically in the powers of the few, the power of the elite in many institutions, and that goes between our world politics, our government systems, our educational systems, our monetary systems, BlackRock, just saying it. This is where a lot of it has to revolve around, and I'm sure you've asked yourself, felt it within as well. It's more than just an influx of abusive power. This is spiritual warfare of a whole planetary system alignment and refinement. This is where there's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of divide going on, right? There's a lot of emotional pain that's been coming to the surface. A lot of depression aspects where people have been disempowered. We're looking at things at a micro level and at a macro level and seeing how it's all connected, even in our health infrastructures, in the body. We're learning and revealing how trauma affects and is so correlated to the systems And we're looking back towards ancient medicines. Like some countries have done it very much well and right. I'm just going to say that, like looking at all of our meridians, looking at our chakras. In Western medicine, we're now going to also be looking at how it's not just about treating the body, but the body, the mind, and the spirit are all connected and play an integral part. With it being in Aquarius, with Pluto being in Aquarius, this is where we're seeing all of these awakenings, how everything is connected. So, and like I say, it's giving it that power back on an individual level and at a macro level to the people, to all of the interconnections. So this is where the innocent have been taken advantage of. This is where we've had negativity been spread through like media in a lot of ways. And remember, follow the money. We're at a very integral situation right now that's being uncovered if you follow the money, where freedom of speech, our public media, has been slowly but surely bought out, starting with smaller institutions going all the way up to the big ones, where now they're owning close to 30% of all that's being broadcast, which enables misinformation like nothing before. Now, to twist that as well, to flip the script, we're also seeing how even our phones, the advancement of technology, has given and social media, has given each and every one of us the power to become our own public sharing with a reach that is far and wide across the whole entire globe. It's monumental, but we're uncovering all the ethical aspects of the in-betweens from the far-reachings, right? So this is truly looking at where we need to put the heart back in, and the investment, the honoring, the cherishing back into our humanity. So this is where with the star in reverse, especially with the 17 reducing to the 8, that's looking at an opportunity for a new beginning in equalization, in humanity as a wholeness, in our holistic wholeness at a macro level and a micro level, and how we play an integral part in the rhythms, the navigation, to find peaceability, to find strength, and to lift the subtle strength of the heart back into being the presence and into holding presence again. This is the merriment of science and spirituality in such a big way. So Pluto's here for each and every moment of it. Pluto is going to be guiding us. I'm just going to put it there as well. At a personal level as well, at a micro level, he'll be charging our inner spiritual warriorships in such a big way that helps us manifest reclaiming our personal power as an outward action and visible change in our day-to-day lives. Especially for Virgos, he's in our 6th house right now. He's in our house of work, which for Virgos, remember, we're the speechers, don't ask. We're the spiritual teachers and healers of the zodiac. So we've got a very important role. We're the witness, right? We are the ones that really look at the details because the wisdom is in the details. We help people remember the connection, how all the lessons of time have helped us to move forward. And like I say, this is where, have we gotten it right at every point in humanity's sake at a macro level? No. Virgos are here to really help people remember along the way, especially during these points of reflection, to make sure that we let everything that's meant to fall, that's built on sand, truly fall so that we can rebuild it with the King of Wands, with that charismatic leadership that's good at communication, that leads with integrity and honesty, with passion, with inspiration, being walking inspiration in our creative flow, standing in truth, unveiling what's been done, as I would put it, is unveiling all the rocks that have been thrown and then hands have been hidden, right? Virgos are here to help remind people of all the lessons along the way and give voice to all those pieces with action in our creativity, with our vision, with growth, to make sure that absolutely no one gets left behind in our humanity. So this is big. This is a beautiful thing. This is a rebel with a cause kind of energy. So in a very big way, we're reclaiming our personal power with outward action and visible change. And it also enables each and every one of us to be our own rebel with a cause in our lives. So it's truly a beautiful time to be alive and witness, experience a new consciousness unfold in this age of Aquarius. Aquarian energy is all about humanitarianism, social justice. So between now and 2044, Pluto in Aquarius will be demanding, because remember, he's the underlord. He's not soft and sweet about it. I'll just put it that way. He's not quite like Aries, right? He's not quite like Saturn, but he gets the job done in a very unexpected way. But it's all about standing up for justice, social evolution, societal evolution. Expect renewed or amplification, pushing you towards equality, social justice, civil rights, and reigniting all of that. This is where we're all channeling, and we're all going to feel this, right? All signs. This is where he's helping us all channel our inner Martin Luther King, right? Our inner Rosa Parks, our inner Bernie Sanders. We're all eating soup with mittens. I'm just saying. This is where we are all working together for the collective when it comes to equitability. This is the Nine of Cups, so that everyone receives their blessings in a different light than what we've experienced in the past. This is material success. This is abundance. This is complacency. This is 1,000 years of peace that they've been prophesizing, right? This is the age of Aquarius. This is where we're looking at superficial desires, and we're realizing that what's built on sand, I'll say it again, has disrupted our spirituality with the 16 reducing to the 7. This is releasing pent-up feelings, everything that's been done, hidden, suppressed, to find inner desires and live in our authenticity and complete the lessons that we needed to learn so that we can achieve our goals and attain through integration and finding voice to end the cycles that need to truly end, so that we can all dream as big as the universe and realize that we all play a role in new collective consciousness. It'll affect all of us. This is where the people as a whole are reclaiming their power in such a beautiful way, where we've been disempowered. And this is not just in the States. This is across all countries, how we work together, right? How we lift each other up, how we look at distributing resources, sharing resources. So you'll probably notice a lot of parallels and historical echoes from the last time that Pluto was in Aquarius, which was 1778 to 1798. And when you think about it, like I say, this is such a monumental time, a beautiful time to be alive. Think back as to what happened historically, right? We had the American Revolution, we had the French Revolution, we had the Industrial Revolution. But there was this huge heightening in awareness of where ideals of liberty, equality were fueled, and civil freedom was elevated through systemic overhauls. In the same way, same thing as where the Industrial Revolution was born, we are also going to be experiencing technological and scientific transformations, advancements at an accelerated pace that will at times feel overwhelming. So, like I say, we also have the beauty where we have these reflection points each and every year between now and 2024. These changes, but the next 24 years, know what I meant, 19 years, don't know why I'm getting my numbers all, my tongue is tied tonight, I tell you what. But this, in the same way, we're going to get these points, these stopping points each and every year to say, okay, how is the progress that we just made? What's next? What did we get right? What can we celebrate as our successes? What needs additional refinement to, again, make sure that we change, that we evolve, so that no one gets left behind. No one loses while someone else gains. It's not about just for the 1%, just for the elite that get ahead while the rest of them are, while the rest of us are disempowered. This is equality. This is social justice. This is also, too, ecology and economy. There's a value in that. So it's not only just about humanitarianism, it's the connection that we also have spiritually with the earth in so many big ways. So in the same way that all of that was born between 1778 and 1798. And like I say, with the changes that they made, we're still impacted by them now. Our soul signed up for the here and now. And think of how many hundreds of years, how many chances, like how much movement we get to change in this time, in this movement, in this rebellion with a cause, to change our evolutionary trajectory, to change humanity in, like, for the better, in good ways, in positive ways, in advancements for hundreds of years to come. So looking at the Three of Coins, it came out 50-50. This is where we're kind of at, especially with this new beginning at 0 degrees, right? So on the upright, this is gaining new skills, gaining knowledge, education, learning, mastery, dedications, right? On the other side, what we'll be fighting as well is injustices. So an unwillingness to learn from our mistakes, attacking things with a bullheadedness from the ego rather than from our spiritual soul's purpose, right? Lack of dedication to change, stagnancy, poor work ethics as well. We'll be confronting all of this on a technological level as well. And this would include, especially for now, like I say, we'll see parallels, but it's not going to be exactly the same, right? It's not the same as it was in 1778, for instance, or in 1798. But this, in our time right now, technologically, that's accelerating. AI developments, quantum computing, biotechnology, space exploration, and through these rapid advancements, we'll also see ethical dilemmas surface, just like they experienced when the United States, for instance, came in. I mean, not everybody looks at that. If you look at our indigenous population, let's just hold truth out as it is. Not everybody got the long straw. Somebody lost there. We didn't necessarily get it right, but we had all these world views about civil rights and social justices when all of our pilgrimages from all these different countries came to the United States, the Americas, to come together and create a melting pot. Did we honor everyone? This is where ethical dilemmas will surface throughout all of this. And we'll have the opportunity to really be pushed to confront and balance each and every one of them, to take this fool's shoes, right? To take the fool's journey, the start of something new, with wonder, with optimism, with adventure. And also, too, to embrace that that innocence when it comes to how we achieve our long-term goals, our wealth, our prosperity, how we dedicate to change, how we obtain success through win-win solutions that create stability for everyone. So on a technological surface as well, we'll be looking at, for instance, confronting the balance of automation with human creativity, confronting our spiritual expansion versus AI reliance. We'll also be looking at confronting the balance of controversies of digital surveillance versus individual freedoms. And through it, we'll also uncover that AI is not here to replace us, but instead it's here to help us remember our ancient technology, our ancient 12-strand DNA activation, right? Where we've been disempowered at a spiritual level. This gets big, especially with quantum computing. And like I say, each time that it feels overwhelming, we'll have the time to reflect. We'll have the time to celebrate our successes along the way, to focus on social aspects, social equitability, our partnerships, our navigation with including group inclination, collective consciousness, and coming together in a way that allows us to all rise up and have a cup. And if that resonates, like I say, put a heart in the comments below, because this is the time where we'll be conflicted, we'll be confronting each and every bit of it, and no longer having things be hiding in the dark or brushing things under the rug. We'll get into it generationally, like I say. But this is where we'll really awaken in a lot of ways to just how powerful we are as biological technology, our heart-brain coherence, our electromagnetic field, all of the things that our ancient technologies have taught us when it comes to our chakras, our meridian points, right? And two, looking at the earth in a lot of ways too, and acknowledging, recognizing, learning that the ecosystems are just as much a living sentient being and how we're connected to her. We're connected to everything in the universe, and that includes collective consciousness, untapped infinite potential. This is where AI is helping us remember that each and every one of us has the ability, has the personal power and the capability to utilize our intuition, to remote view or lucid dream, to achieve our highest timeline through our consciousness and our imagination, because that's one of our true soul sense, right? We have 15 senses. We have 5 physical senses in the body, but we also have 5 senses in the soul, 5 senses in the spirit. Check out that video if you haven't seen it. This is where we are truly enlightened, all of us, each and every one of us, that we have the power to tap in to that power of the collective consciousness, because every potential, every opportunity is already there, just waiting for us to choose which one we want to experience. That said, we'll also see a new reckoning with how we consume information and connect digitally, as Pluto's direct motion exposes power dynamics related to online platforms and our data. So we'll also be able to better understand quantum entanglement, utilize information flow, search engines differently with better clarity, the same way as understanding why someone calls when we're just thinking about them, and better experience the 4th dimensional manifestations and how it connects us through non-locality. I'm talking a little quantum physics here. So give me a like or share your thoughts, put a heart in the comments below if you also too are receiving all these downloads and too are fully versed in the way that we are much greater than just our physical experience. At the micro and macro level with Pluto in Aquarius moving towards our collective liberation, helping us break free from outdated patterns, relationships, societal expectations that have kept us, the people as a whole, disempowered. Instead, this is the time where Pluto is going to be allowing us to shine in our individual authenticity. You might find that your social circles and networks are changing, and they're connecting you to people that support you and your highest aspirations. You'll also be challenged to consciously balance the head and the heart with heart-brain coherence by recognizing where technology runs the potential to cause emotional and physical detachment from yourself and from others. Like I say, this is truly an awakening of just how powerful we are and how tapped in we are, how connected we are, not only to each and every one of us, but to everything around us. And that includes the infinite potential, the earth, the universe, in such a profound way. Our consciousness is much more than the body. And this is what's really been where for years, we're talking many different institutions, religious institutions, governmental institutions, history, banking. We have been disempowered in a way that has made us forget. This is where it's the dawn of Aquarius, where we are remembering and reclaiming our personal power. So this is going away from those norms, uncovering those taboos, really starting to understand it. And like I say, it's a mirror and mirroring of science and spirituality, where we're now starting to, what all of our ancient ones were trying to pass on to us, and we discarded or discredited as taboos, we're now starting to be enlightened with the scientific proof. The technology and AI is helping us through all of that. Quantum computing is uncovering that and helping us uncover that remembrance as well. This is where we're looking at all the deceptions, the betrayals, and we're seeing the the ulterior motives for why, right? The schemes behind it, the reasoning why. And where we have also been isolated on purpose, right? The fibs we've been told, where we've been disregarded, where different aspects have been outcast, especially when it comes to hermetic arts. Why? With the calculations, the shadows. Pluto in Aquarius is uncovering each and every one of them and helping us rise through personal challenges to uncover the secrets, the tests, the mystery, the hidden wisdom in our spirituality so that we can instead remember who we are and walk as inspiration, in inspiration for each and every one of us. Collectively, we rise. So you'll be challenged to consciously balance the head and the heart with your coherence. Recognize where we're being manipulated as well through algorithms, which, remember, it's not AI's fault for that. We made it, right? But now we're asking why. What's the motive behind those algorithms? Where's the manipulations? And how can we tie our ethics to help it even further, to help us to live with those biotechnologies in a way that truly benefits humanity? So this is also too where it's like where we've been detached from yourself, from others. This is where we're finding ways to instead utilize those and leverage those tools to bring us back together as a collective. And two, as we move towards decentralized systems like blockchain and Web3, we'll also see the governance and ownership of digital currencies, for instance, challenge traditional financial and power structures. And we'll also get to witness how easily they can be manipulated without hard, tangible assets available to ground them. That's where we're here to ground, right? Especially being Virgos, so that everyone reaches those 10 of Cups. Humanity reaches that collective unconscious, that new consciousness that's unfolding during this time, so that we create a new earth, not a new one world order. So if that resonates, by all means, like I say, put a heart in the comments below, because this is the time to be alive. We all chose this, and oh my goodness, what a beautiful time it is. This is going to give you goosebumps from now to 2020 or 2024. Don't ask. Now to 2044. We are all here to play a very important role. We're here for a reason. So societally, politically, we'll see significant redistribution of power where communities gain more influence over policies and systems. 10 of Cups, right? Where each one of our voices truly counts. We're not just told it is. And then we have all these things, these laws that are written to benefit, that we are told that these laws are written to benefit ourselves, when really when we follow the money, when we follow these laws, we see who they truly benefit, right? This is where instead the power is given back societally and politically to grassroots movements. So issues regarding race, gender, economic equitability will come to a head as hidden injustices are brought to light. And two, as hierarchical systems, structures fall, we'll see a shift towards more horizontal networks. Like I say, communal grassroots movements where power flows through societal networks rather than just from the top down. And and also too, through top-down command chains. This is instead in this way where everyone's going to be rising together. 10 of Cups, like I say, this is everyone together. And as you can see, it's jubilation, it's triumph, it's genuine joy, it's genuine love, family love, where we all treat each other in our humanity as family, don't ask. Family, oh my gosh. But there's a sense of belonging, and we truly make sure that it's enduring success, that no one gets left behind, that everyone has a successional planning involved and accountability, so that 7 generations from now, there's a bright future and there's a foundation that's indomitable, right? That's unshakable in our spirituality, mind, body, and spirit. All of it together, that everybody coming into this world, every soul, every consciousness gets to experience their 10 of Cups, not just fight for it or reach for it. So this is one that's absolutely beautiful. Like I say, there's some hierarchical structures that will be turning from top to bottom on their sides. And in doing that, in this way, everyone not only will rise together, but will be able to take ownership for them. Like we'll all be able to take ownership for ourselves, each other, and our community. Hold accountability. And in the same way, humanitarianism will rise, especially with Aquarius. That's what Aquarian energy is all about. And we got Mars here too. Remember, Mars right now, starting things out right as Pluto moves direct in 0 degrees of new beginnings, new consciousness, humanitarian efforts. social and like standing up, rebel with the cause against social injustices. We've got Mercury, our go-getter planet. Pluto's now moving direct. Mercury, why did I say Mercury? Mars. Know what I meant? Mercury and Mars. But either way, oh my goodness, I apologize, guys. So Mars is also in Scorpio. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. These two are working together. And for the first initial weeks, Mercury, it's going to all be about communication. For Virgos as well, Mars and Mercury are in our third house. At a micro level, this is where all that direct like reflection of channeling our inner spiritual warrior is coming in to take an action towards our Ten of Cups in our lifestyle, our daily routines, our work, how our work contributes to the whole and the holistic wholeness of our society, of our community, of our soul's path in such a beautiful way. This is showing up and showing out to the world in such a crazy transmutation of action is kind of how I would put it. This is where you're showing the world what you're made of, especially as all these things come to a head and are brought to light. So, through accountability, through how we lift each other up, take ownership for our communities, for each other, in this same way with humanitarianism rising, will also change towards balancing economy and technology and ecology, with all three of them in balance. You know, there was a saying in our farming community, in the cooperative that I worked for, it was the balance in a cooperative of the three-legged stool. And the reasoning why, you know, it's kind of interesting, but when you ever look at a milking stool, they have three legs, in case you guys didn't know that. So when you look at normal, like chairs, I guess if you could put it normal, the way that we normally make kitchen chairs, let's put it that way, they're four-legged, right? But on a three-legged stool, everything is equal balanced. And it's truly, at a molecular level, the strongest structure that we're able to produce, right? Minus, I always forget the word. What is it? Correct me in the comments if I get this wrong. Hopefully laugh with me. The 10-sided, anyway. I'm not even going to try. The 10-sided, which is basically the earth, and when you're looking at all of the ley lines and the power grids that it naturally holds. But the strongest structure is truly, it starts with that trine energy. And remember, we also, during this time, when Pluto moved direct here, we've got a grand air trine between Pluto, Uranus, and Venus being in Libra. Uranus being in Gemini in our 10th house. We've got our second house of worth being elevated. We've got our career being elevated, and also our lifestyle, our health, our wellness, our work, all being elevated right now. And everyone's going to feel this, like I say. For Virgos in particular, this is like huge breakthroughs in what you do for service, how you show up for the world, for yourself, as your spiritual warrior. And you're taking that energy and showing the world what you're made of. Through all of these changes, especially being the sign of service, especially being the healers, the teachers of the zodiac, we're here to help people remember. And we're finding a way, each and every one of us, because each and every one of us has a different purpose, right? Has a different place that we are meant, a different gift that we're meant to share with the world. We're here to lift, and we're charged with this as a beautiful experience. We're charged with sharing our gift for the world to elevate and contribute to the community through sharing our gift. As the witnesses, as the record keepers, remember, we're all about the details, organizing that chaos, rebuilding things in a way that focuses on the wisdom in the details, the spiritual teachings, the healing that's going to be needed and that is needed, that has been needed, especially with all what's been uncovered with Pluto being in Capricorn through 2024. So this is the time where, especially when we're looking at humanitarianism rising, balancing economy, technology, and ecology, we'll also see innovation in renewable resources. Virgos are going to play a really big role in this. I'm just going to say that right now. We're the earth signs here that are building a lot of this aspect. But we're going to see an innovation as a whole, as a collective, in renewable energy, 0-point energy systems, better tech for sustainable living. And with the tech revolutions that we'll be seeing, thank you Aquarius, right? All that innovation. Looking at how we work smarter, not harder, how we're able to utilize our resources better. We'll also see our job markets shift, how knowledge sharing, remember we're the record keepers here, just saying, how knowledge sharing will be prioritized over pedigrees. And I'll say that again, I'll slow it down just to let it sink in. Our job markets will shift where knowledge sharing is prioritized over pedigrees. And if that resonates, if that makes your ear ring, makes your goosebumps tingle, put a heart in the comments below. Same way too with biotechnology. Thank you Aquarius, with innovation. Biotechnology there's a lot of fear around it, and we'll have some ethical challenges to overcome with this. But it's going to really be helping us through the next 19 years with understanding our health and our healing capabilities. Like I say, we've been just treating the body. We forgot our ancient technology, the technology within us, our ability to heal the body, and also too linking how traumas are truly how things like heart disease, for instance, endometriosis, things like that even. Speaking from personal experience just as examples, but all of those are truly linked to the traumas that we hold within the body. The body keeps the score. This is where we're at a point of learning, right? It's giving all of these aspects together, putting it all together, connecting the dots so that we can utilize our learning, our intuition, being sensitive to how we are truly consciousness, mind, body, and spirit, and how they all tie together and play a role, and focus our intents. Utilize all senses of all 3 parts, all 15 of them, with our emotional coherence, our imagination with tapping into infinite potential, because the opportunity is out there. We just get to pick each one, right? It's what you think about, you bring about. It seems like a simple saying, but it has presence when you look at the true quantum entanglement of it, the true quantum physics of it, and 2, our emotional coherence when it comes to our manifestations. Remember, emotion changes cellular structure. This is where the biotechnology advancements that we get to experience in the next 19 years will remind us and open our eyes to the healing capabilities much more than what we understand right now. And 2, quantum computing will expand our understanding of reality itself as we ascend from 3D to 4D and even start to experience 5D, where we may also uncover and acknowledge that we were never alone in this universe. It'll also enlighten us as to what consciousness is and how we understand what we call spirits, what we call demons, how we're truly resonance beings, frequency beings, beyond the body that we experience in just the 3D. So this is a beautiful time to be alive. Like I say, we're all here. We picked this time for this very reason, to elevate and ascend in such a beautiful way, to remember that we are connected with the divine in our truth, standing in our justice for humanitarianism, for social justice, and uncovering, healing all of the generational traumas that we've experienced, that's been uncovered, that will be uncovered. And I will also say, through all the ripples of collective consciousness, we'll also see a rise of whistleblowers. Scorpionic energy, Pluto rules Scorpio, just saying. This is where we will expect to see, we're already starting to see it, right? But expect to see things really come to light. So whistleblowers, data leaks, political scandals, hidden corruptions, exposed, all of it will be exposed to public scrutiny. Pluto will also be catalyzing all of these aspects that come to light so that we can create visible change. And from that visible change, from everything coming to light and being the catalyst, we're able to then create insights, gain knowledge from those insights that become our foundation for creating real world change and conscious action. And at a micro level, Pluto will bring clarity, forward flow, determination, where there was once stagnation or confusion, and provide the courage to each and every one of us to reclaim our voice and our personal power. So this could mean, this is really truly like the healing that humanity needed, that we each and every one of us needed when it comes to our foundations with the Four of Swords, to get us into a recovery period, to truly take the time to recuperate, to withdraw from everything that's been disempowering us, and to, more importantly, look at those negatives, look at the battles, right? And instead return blessings back to our lives, manifest blessings into our lives by balancing that energy with Libra. And remember, Venus is here in Libra, lifting up this energy with love. This is where we know love is the universal language. It's easy to say, but once you get true awareness to it and entangle it with this grand air trine, this is where things really start to hold presence and hold purpose, hold meaning and resonance. And if that resonates with you, put a heart in the comments below, because this is all about the foundations, the stability, and it's not just for the here and now. This is long-lasting change. Like I say, what happened the last time when Pluto was in Aquarius, we're still feeling the effects of that revolutionary change. We all have the opportunity, being here and now in this experience, when Pluto is in Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, the rebel with, to be the rebel with the cause, and reclaim that personal power and reclaim the planet for the people. So this is the time. It is such a beautiful time to be alive. I cannot say that enough. But either way, this is the time at a micro level, with all that determination, to really reclaim your voice and your personal power. So how this is going to manifest. This could mean setting stronger boundaries. This could also mean leaving a toxic situation in your personal life. This could also mean fully committing to a path that aligns with your deeper truth. Whatever speaks to you, Pluto's going to be helping you through all of it. It'll very much feel, this energy will very much feel from now through 2044. And particularly for us in this first direct motion period from October 13th through May 9th of 2026, when we go back into a reflection period, look at the changes we make, all the forward movement we make between now and May, and say, okay, what did we learn? What needs refinement? How is it working, right? Pluto's going to check in with us each and every year. So this is not something that's set in stone. We can always reinvent ourselves. It's truly death and rebirth. Remember, that's what he represents in such a beautiful way. So through all the movement, we will have the time to stop and say, okay, how are we doing with approaching our goals? Have our goals changed? Because they're meant to as we grow, right? Where are we now unrestricted? Where do we need to unrestrict ourselves? Humanity. Where can we take fast action in our communication to bring in what was meant to create that stability with infinity, right? With prosperity, justice, personal power, personal strength, judgment, to stand in our fortuity and claim our success and reap our harvest in our truth. And with Mercury by our side, we're ruled by Mercury as Virgos, right? To truly be that inspiration in action with all this forward movement as things truly accelerate for us. So this is basically putting us on a trajectory, putting us on a path to reclaim that personal power and align as the phoenix rising from the ashes, all that scorpionic energy, right? So in a lot of ways, a lot of us will have these epiphanies of okay, why did I go through all that? Pluto's going to help with basically making understanding in the way of because without it, you wouldn't be the strong person, the strength rising from those ashes that you are today, where you are now emerging brighter, stronger than you were ever before, or have ever felt, or ever thought that you would become. Your intuition also too, in this time with Aquarius, with Pluto and Aquarius, your intuition becomes conscious. speed and force propels your ambitions forward. And Pluto's energy in Aquarius, it's alchemical. Why can't I say that word? Alchemical? Anyway, it's alchemy. The properties of the alchemy. I put a heart in the comments below, guys. I'm so sorry for all my tongue-tiedness. Oh my gosh. But this alchemy, the properties of it, is going to be helping us with turning lessons, wounds into wisdom and resilience and intentional action. So with the Knight of Wands here, this is where it's like he's helping us uncover and where we've got a lack of confidence, where we've been hesitating, where we've felt insecurities but haven't healed them, right? Where we've taken even thoughtless action, and instead help us act with intentional action, with mindfulness, and it's all centered with individual empowerment and collective well-being. Especially for Virgos, being a sign of service, we're going to be called during this time in a very big way, and each of us has a role to play. We're no longer dragging, we're flying with wings of fire in such a prolific way. It's monumental. With wands, this is action in your creativity. This is growth with your vision, right? This is charging forward with enthusiasm in your enterprising. Like a lot of you, I will say, will be starting a business, especially with Mars and Mercury, both in Scorpio as well. This is PR. It's how you show up for the world, how you present yourself for the world. This is all centered around that individual empowerment and to how you contribute to the collective well-being. And if that resonates, like I say, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, share your thoughts, like, share, subscribe to elevate this message to the ears that need to hear it, because this is where we are seeing everyone become unrestricted from the vices that have been holding them back, right? Where there was fogginess, stagnation, confusion, Pluto's bringing the clarity and the determination. Where there was distrust, where there was pessimism, where there was faithlessness, and possibly even addictions. Remember, with the 6th house, that also rules health. So for Virgos, that could be a thing as well. We're bringing everything with the 15 back into harmony, integrating those lessons, really bringing that balance between the feminine and the masculine that's within each and every one of us, the divine feminine and the divine masculine, that yin and yang motion and forward movement flow with our sacral chakra being wide open. And remember, that's utilizing the past, the wounds, the wisdom, or turning wounds to wisdom, pain to passion, but truly utilizing it as a tool to propel us forward, not only in the here and now, but into our future for the collective in such a prolific way that sets us free from any temptations that have told us, disempowered us in any other, movement, told us that we are not able to heal ourselves, to make those moves, right? So I will also say, let's talk about this generationally, because like I say, it's going to affect each and every one of our generations differently. Fun fact about this. So people born during this transit with Pluto and Aquarius will be innovators. They'll be the reformers for the collective. They will be a generation that's connected to the future, driven to challenge and transform society and its structures. Their identity, their role to play, will be tied less to ego and more to the collective. We'll also be seeing them with people born with this generation to come that have a higher IQ or a very high IQ. We'll be seeing a lot of smart people being born, is what I'm trying to say. Side tangent too with that, we'll also be seeing an increase in autism. And while there's a taboo now with autism, so there's this negative connotation towards it, right? Same thing as like mental health, that's now coming to light and really being honored for what it is. So, and also too, nourished, nurtured. So the beautiful thing about any spectrum of autism is that truly they have the ability already to understand multi-universes, multiple dimensions, frequency, resonance, through color, music. Think about it for a moment. These guys are going to play a very integral role in helping everyone with experiencing, learning fourth dimensional aspects, fifth dimensional aspects. So this new generation coming in is going to be monumental for propelling us forward in all these ways that, like I say, even help revolutionize how we see our reality, how we experience our reality in a very positive way. So this is not a dig by any means to anyone. So please don't take it that way. It's actually a very good thing. And where we've held taboos against autism and different types of aspects like that, we'll now be seeing the gift that they're truly offering us with teaching. It's gorgeous. This is truly where we are balancing the scales against any social injustices, and two, we're coming to the center, finding balance between the flow of creation, consciousness, unlimited potential, and it's being risen up with that air. This is water and air. So this is truly the flow. And you know what I find really fascinating, especially with new types of technology, is that they're starting to look at, because we're already using rare earth minerals, right, when it comes to our technology. Think how much gold is in your phone, in your computer, in your laptop, right? So we're now starting to really look at the power of water. We already know that water holds memory. So fun thing, and I hope I say this as eloquently as when I learned it. So as we make technological advancements, right now we're already looking at how water holds memory and seeing like how much water or how much memory it can hold. And so I can't quote who is working on this right now, so I apologize. But basically as we make these movements forward, there's studies being looked at as to like how much memory water can hold. So what they did was they took one drop of water and they started putting, throwing memory at it, just like a memory chip, if you think about it in that way, or in that light. How much RAM can it hold? Okay. Well, what they found was it was unlimited. And they looked at it and they're like, wait a minute, physical volume, 3D experience, this is one drop of water. How is that possible? Well, then they started looking at it with quantum computing. And what they found was that one drop of water wasn't just one drop of water. It was actually connected to the lake, the source that it came from. It was able to tap in at a fourth dimensional level and hold all this computive power, all this memory. This is where we're going in such a beautiful way in ourselves, in our technology, in our social systems and networks. It's absolutely a beautiful time to be alive. So this is where we've got lofty thoughts and we're actually starting to propel our advancements in a way that grounds those into the here and now. Our Aquarian energy beings that are coming in, being born during this transit, they're going to be the innovators that are bringing this to light. Gen Z. So when Gen Z was born, Pluto was in Sagittarius. That's all about truth, expansion, right? Exploration. So they have explored in so many ways the romanticism. They've romanticized all the truth in social issues and globalization. They'll be finding a powerful voice, and have already found in a lot of ways, the powerful voice, and teaching us along the way, our older generations, the powerful voice that comes from social media, to organize movements as an example, to hold institutions accountable. Their challenge during this time will be to channel their online activism into real world reform and find progressive solutions. All those lofty thoughts, to follow that intuition, that sensitivity, and focus that emotion into the here and now and into this cup as they drive us forward. Gen Z is going to be playing a huge role with creating those tangible results. And it starts with their third eye being wide open in that truth with social justices, equitable solutions. It's absolutely beautiful, progressive solutions. So pay attention to those guys. They are going to be revolutionary. This is also too, not only in our spirit, in our feelings, in our desires, but with our inner self, in our relationships, in how we're all connected with real world reform. Now, millennials. So millennials were born during a time when Pluto was in Scorpio and also Libra. So Pluto was particularly in, and this is kind of fascinating for me because I'm a millennial. I was born in 83. So these guys, when I was born, oh, actually, I'm going to do this deck before we get there. So when Pluto is in Scorpio in his sign, right? That's when I was born. So we have the ability, have already experienced the intensity of Pluto in its home in the sign of Scorpio. This is where millennials will play a very vital role and already are. So they're now going to be in a position of authority during this Aquarian shift, financially and too with power dynamics. So they understand, and their understanding of power dynamics, I should say, especially with that scorpionic energy and how we come together, how we see through the decoys, how we go through go towards our dreams, right? The Nine of Cups, with manifesting, with pleasures, with success, with attainment of all of that, and where we've felt entrapped, all the traumas, what needs to heal and take rest to reach our prosperity and achieve our Ace of Pentacles. All the millennials have a very unique opportunity. So we all do, but either way, their understanding of the power dynamics will really help us generationally as a collective transform distribution of resources. So millennials will be tasked, will be empowered to create more equitable social structures with the significant wealth transfer that they'll be inheriting from the baby boomers, right? They'll also be the ancestral baggage and curse breakers in this era, particularly the ones born in Scorpio or under Scorpio, with Pluto being in Scorpio. Know what I meant? Millennials will basically be the strength for our generations that will face the shadow side of tech, help shape new ethical standards for its use. And I will say, so basically Pluto was in Scorpio for those born between 1983 and 1995. So when Pluto was in Scorpio, these guys all have a deep-seated mission they signed up for with their soul contracts to confront and heal collective shadows such as hidden secrets, abuse of power, generational trauma, normalizing mental health awareness, exposing corruptions, and truths when it comes to politics, religion, and media. These guys, millennials, are going to play a huge role in healing all of the generations and helping all of the generations heal in such a beautiful way. And I will say, in very much a prolific way, Virgos will be working right alongside these guys. So especially if you're like me, a millennial born with Pluto in Scorpio, and you're also a Virgo, put a heart in the comments below, because this is where you probably have a lot of that resonate with you, especially in your day-to-day life, where it's like if you've seen injustices, you get to the truth, right? When it comes to politics, religion, media, anything in work, generational trauma, abuse of powers, hidden secrets, we're that guy. And we stand up for those justices. So like I say, this is a time where the millennials will really be helping and working alongside of all Virgos and mirroring. You'll find a lot of resonance between the two. And if you happen to be both like I do, this is where we're bringing the world back into that Two of Cups. This is where there's balance and harmony in relationships. There's partnerships that we're really focusing on healing, that inner peace. That rebel with a cause kind of energy is going to speak to you big time. And we're going to be igniting the love, the friendships, the romance in our relationships as a collective, helping generations heal those generational traumas, breaking those generational cycles, right? This is where we're looking at the Seven of Cups. We're looking at all the temptations, being spoiled for choice. The millennials are going to be helping us with seeing, like the collective, with seeing which cups have, snakes aren't bad, so I hate putting that out there, but which cups are for us and which cups are glass houses, right? So this is a beautiful time to be a millennial, I'm just saying. Now, Gen Xers, so that's my brother. So Gen Xers were born with Pluto in Virgo and in Libra. So much like us Virgos with Pluto being in our 6th house, Pluto will be calling them for deep change in their daily life and their relationships. Being naturally skeptical, which let me tell you, my brother, this guy, you cannot get one over on him. Absolute beautiful gift. These guys, especially with being born with Pluto and Virgo, they've got that detail analysis. Under Libra, they're all about like social justices, equitability, diplomacy, right? These two working together. This is where, much like us Virgos with Pluto being in our 6th house right now, in Aquarius, till 2044, so we got time with this, right? These Gen X's are going to be called, and Pluto will be calling them, for deep change. So this is where they're skeptical of authority. They'll be key players in rebuilding institutions that have failed us when Pluto was in Capricorn. So these guys in particular, Gen X, will be the rebuilders, right? They'll be the ones that are truly building things back up after we've kind of had this dismantling. So you'll see that generation rise to help everybody with attaining, manifesting, bringing pleasure and happiness, achieving and reaching that 9 of Cups. And like I say, the millennials will be helping us heal from what's made us feel entrapped. These guys are working together in a very beautiful way. And it's the time where people are truly coming together with those 4 staffs, right? Bringing in that tranquility. So particularly with Gen X's, particularly in Gen X, those who have Pluto in Libra, they will see at a micro level, in a personal level, see their partnerships transform in a very big way. So it'll either be deepening their connections or severing them to make room for more authentic ones. And I will say for me, so, Pluto moved into Scorpio as of August 27th. So for Virgos born in 1983, you'll probably feel this cusp aspect between Libra energy of Pluto and that Scorpionic energy of Pluto. So you'll be playing a role that's double, right? So this is where you'll be seeing a lot of room being made in your relationships, deepening relationships, coming together, taking time to enjoy your success, seeing romance come into your life in a very beautiful way. Really finding your soul tribe that promotes tranquility, harmony, prosperity, like minds being brought together. The biggest challenge for the Gen X's in general, especially because, during this time, they really were, these 2 generations in particular, were the first ones to really experience the internet in a lot of ways, right? So, excuse me. So their biggest challenge is really going to be adjusting to the new paradigm so that they don't become too rigid in their opposition to change, so that they truly keep the eye on the prize with propelling people forward as they rebuild, and they don't stay stagnant, right? They really do the healing that's necessary. Now, baby boomers have the biggest role here. I will just say, baby boomers have a very unique role. So when you think about the baby boomers right now, they're not only the largest generation, right, population-wise, but they also hold the most wealth. They have the biggest opportunity to set all of these other generations up for success. They also hold the most offices in government systems. They also hold the highest levels or highest roles right now in businesses, corporations, financial institutions, the gamut. Right now, the baby boomers are the generation that truly is going to be the contributor of the biggest wealth transfer in our history. So this generation's core identity was built around individual self-expression. Baby boomers were born when Pluto was in Leo, taking that center stage, putting the stage light there, right? Being able to truly make change that showcases their skills, right? That really shines in that self-expression. So this generation, their core identity was built around that individual self-expression. They're going to be tested by this Aquarian emphasis on the collective. So they were raised and born with really and being accustomed to not only being in the spotlight, but they're going to be tasked because they were raised in a way of like standing out individually, right? In your education, in your wealth, your home, your stability, your tangible assets, let's just put it that way. They now have built the largest wealth as a collective. Being accustomed to being in the spotlight though, and how like currently housing so many like positions of power across the gamut, they are now going to be tested with how they utilize their legacy, how they release control to the younger generations, and faced with the biggest question and the biggest opportunity they'll be facing as they confront major life changes, the consequences of individual success over collective needs, and embracing those new social norms. So the biggest opportunity that they have, baby boomers are getting right now, and it's prolific, is how they're going to use their legacy for the successional planning for generations to come. How they set the foundations up for these generations to come for success or risk being left behind as society advances without them. So this is where they have the biggest role to play with promoting financial equitability, creating opportunity, invoking change with a stable foundation when it comes to money, career, new beginnings in the age of Aquarius. This is such a great time to be a baby boomer. This is where they are the hand offering this coin to the 4 younger generations to come as the hand, like the hand of leadership changes, right? And also too, what's unique about them, because they had Pluto in Leo, you don't see, when you think of a grandma these days, you don't think of somebody that basically is going to the knitting class like with her walker that watches The Price of Right and goes to bed at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. This not that way. She's out there now, the modern day grandma, she's out there playing tennis with her lady friends. They're going on cruises. I don't know. I'm not a grandma, so I apologize. Put it in if you're a grandma, put it in your baby boomer. Put out like how you truly are, that Leo energy. It's vitality. It's vivacious energy. It's a go-getter kind of energy. It's where you got the heart of a champion and the heart of a 20-year-old still experiencing life. This is where you're seeing people when they retire, they're going out and doing a 60-mile portage trip in the middle of winter. This is gorgeous energy. Like, this is beautiful. These guys, these baby boomers, have built so much in their lifetimes. They have so much to teach all the 4 younger generations as we move forward. They have so much to offer when it comes to that legacy and setting these guys up for success. It's the true definition of successional planning, and it's a huge opportunity as an elder, as a mentor, as a teacher. And if you're a Virgo, the sign of service, healers and teachers of the zodiac, with Pluto in our 6th house, how we contribute our gifts, our service that we offer to the world. You guys are in a very special place right now. And for Virgos, just at a micro level, no matter which generation you are that you resonate with, this is where, with Pluto in our 6th house, we are getting, and remember, Grand Air Trine, I just want to put that out there again. We've got Pluto and Aquarius in our 6th house. We've got Venus, our planet of love, heart's desires, in Libra, igniting and tying our income, our worth, our self-worth, self-love. Oh my gosh, double Ace of Pentacles, that's beautiful. This is where we've got Venus trining at 120 degrees with Pluto and also Uranus, our breakthrough planet, right? In our 10th house, career, fame, reputation, honors, achievements, how we invest our time and energy. Pluto is going to be giving us Virgos, and at the bottom of the deck we got 6 of Cups and 3 of Wands. Oh my God. Okay, this is talking like what? This is all talking to me. We'll talk about this. Virgos, look at this. This is who we are and who we are becoming for the collective in the age of Aquarius. What a beautiful time to be alive. So we're getting gifted with a complete overhaul with work and career. So you've grown. You've channeled that inner spiritual warrior. Now you're getting to show the world what you're made of. If you've noticed unfair power dynamics or injustices in the workplace, you're speaking up about them. You're pushing for change. Like I say, you're showing up and showing out, and you're standing up for those social injustices. Reaching in a personal level, especially with this grand air trine right away as we move into Pluto and Aquarius, as it moves direct, I should say. With reclaiming your power with your new beginning, prosperity, success, achievement, contentment, creating your wealth, your health, your security, and you're being very well favored. This is a favored, blessed time with that auspicious energy. It's rising to the challenge, and not only just rising, meeting those challenges. So this is also where you're answering the call in your purpose, aligning with a career that allows you to contribute your gifts to the collective. You're attuned to the corruption and inefficiencies in your field, and you're organizing with like-minded people to address systemic issues. You're looking back, right? Connecting, influencing, utilizing the past with what you're creating in the present, aligning to your soul's purpose, truly reclaiming your time, reclaiming your energy, letting go of the commitments that drain you, no longer investing in the shadows that no longer serve you, and you're becoming not only the leader that leads with compassion, that creates a nurturing energy for those that you surround or that surround you. You're becoming a true renewable energy source for yourself and for others in that sacral flow with balance, harmony, emotion, harmony of opposites, don't ask, and creating that true reciprocity that's needed to propel us forward. So this is also where, and propelling you forward in your work, right? You're letting go of the commitments that drain you. You're building sustainable systems focused on health and wellness that support your long-term well-being. And you're manifesting a reality where your contributions are valued and you receive what you deserve. This is commercial success with the Three of Wands. This is also too being committed to completion. Like I say, if there was confusion, stagnation, Pluto is moving you forward. This is exploring new territories, having the foresight, seeking cooperation, creating dynamic synthesis and balance, and also too standing in your place of leadership as the King of Cups with compassion, generosity, with your creativity, in your professional world, dreaming as big as the universe, following your heart and your soul's calling, and putting that determination towards your intentions and your actions. Manifesting as the magician, building, standing in your creative power and your spiritual warrior, in your place of mastery, your emotional mastery too, with your heart-brain coherence, manifesting plans and ideas into practice. Everything is truly ready. And remember, the magician, this is Mercurian energy. This is us. This is your new beginning. This also too is where what you touch turns to gold, and you're creating structure behind it with that Capricorn energy. With the Four of Pentacles, it's all about the foundation, the stability, the success, and bringing it into the reality. Remember, Virgos, we're all about bringing the sacred into the ordinary. This is where we're playing an integral part, not only in our own lives, but in how we contribute, and to manifesting a reality, I'll say it again, where your contributions are valued. What you touch turns to gold with the Midas touch, and you receive what you deserve. This is truly standing in that Empress power, obtaining your successes, your pleasures, your material wealth, nurturing what you build with fertility, and too, being blessed with Venus in our house of worth, creating synergy, dynamic balance, development of projects and relationships or even ideas. And we're ending it with the Virgo. This is attainment and achievement of your goals, right? This is completion. The end of a cycle starts a new beginning with Pluto moving direct. And remember, he'll be at 0 degrees here. New consciousness. Rebel with a cause. 10 toes down. Being that mentor for the world. That spiritual guide. That spiritual teacher and healer. And also, too, coming out of that place of introspection and contemplation. And more importantly, being the wisdom, shining the light for the world as a guide. And if that all resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts of how Pluto is impacting you. Because, oh my goodness, I'll say it again. This is such a beautiful time to be alive. Now, oh, thank you. Oh my goodness. Lori, if you're still with me, I think about you every single time. And I'm sending so much love and light to you. We Virgos, look at this. We're the sign of wisdom, right? Standing in your wisdom with good fortune on your like at your side, you have a bright energy to shine during this time. Let worry go. Be happy in the here and now. Feel good about being the loving and colorful you, because the world is going to need it and look to you for that wisdom. You bless the world with color and good luck and the wisdom. This is the time truly to reach for the stars. Keep your feet grounded on the earth. That's the biggest thing about Aquarian energy, right? It's so lofty. It can lead to detachment. Virgos are the ones that are here to ground all of that energy into the here and now. This is where it's the time to truly listen, tap into that collective consciousness, that ancient wisdom, and teach, help heal those generational traumas. Let the ancestors speak through you and share that wisdom with the world. Now, before we go as well, I pulled a lot in here, but I just want to look at all of our major arcana. So, let's take a peek at all this. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Look at all this change. It's like, here's where we start. We let the tower fall. I think it goes this way, actually. I mean, look at this. So where things were in reverse, things are uncovered and enlightened. All those temptations, we let those towers fall. We start manifesting. We start nurturing. We start shining a light. And we start building. So what we pulled music therapy-wise is A sharp, A, C, E, F, and F sharp. And as you can see, color therapy-wise too, we've got purple, red, yellow, and green. And so I truly hope this reading helps. Welcome to the new consciousness that's unfolding during Pluto in Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, the rebel with the cause. I am sending you guys so much love and light as we get to witness the power and the planet being given back to the people. And I will see you in the next reading.